National Convention, Dixiecrats walk out over the civil rights plank, prompted by President Truman's actions originally, and Strom Thurmond runs as a presidential candidate on behalf of the Dixiecrats.
In the words of John Paul Jones, we have just begun to fight.
There are thousands of white people in attendance. The hall is decorated in red, white, and blue bunting. It is festooned with Confederate flags. People are holding aloft pictures of Robert E. Lee. There's no question as to sort of the animating spirit of this group, which is to return the South to the past, to maintain the racial status quo, to maintain white supremacy.
It's another effort on the part of the president to dominate the country by force and to put into effect these uncalled for and these damnable proposals he has recommended under the guise of so-called civil rights. And I'll tell you, the American people from one side or the other had better wake up and oppose such a program. And if they don't, the next thing will be a totalitarian state in the United States.
Hey, how's it going, guys? How you doing? How you doing? We're here. Yeah, get that money. So, over my experience, we're gonna talk about this voting that's about to come up in 2024. I don't know who you're voting for, but with all the inflation and the price gouging and everything else going on, we already knew with the, we can't talk about it because I already got a strike against it. You can't even say the word. If you say the word, you're gonna take your channel down. That's what happened on my previous video before, deadline. So it's just crazy though, but this is how it is. I'm gonna talk about something right now about work. When I worked at the bank and other locations, they push democracy, they push democratic. They're like, I know you're gonna vote Democrat. I was at the liquor store in downtown LA before I talk about working at the bank. A woman came in, an old granny, came in talking about, I know y'all gonna vote Democrat. Sure, ain't nobody gonna vote for that racist ass, who. I know you are. She supports Maxine Water and Hillary Clinton and all this, KKK people. And I'm like, and also I was at the train station. I was contracting with this company, and some guy come out of nowhere, and he was trying to talk to me and telling me that I need to vote for the Ku Klux Klan. And I'm like, what? How you gonna vote for KKK?
The Klan march may have been cut short, but apparently it helped membership.
Other than the Coke bottle, what's more recognizable than the white hood and robe and the flaming cross?
The government was intended to be of the white man, by the white man, and for the white man.
Mongrel class of people.
Interest in the Ku Klux Klan has swelled and then dwindled. The Klan's power always came and went in phases. Until at one point, the tactics used to gather Klan members together ultimately become the hooks used to drag them down.
The oldest Ku Klux Klan organization in the nation may be out of business.
But what's never gone away is the fear the Klan built its legacy on.
Preserve the racist.
Fear that's still here today.
They call themselves white patriots, knights of the Klan, and they have returned to the small Tennessee town where it all began.
This is Pulaski, Tennessee, and the Ku Klux Klan began back in 1865 on Christmas Eve, when 6 ex-Confederate soldiers met to form a social club. Its name was inspired by the Greek word for circle. Nathan Bedford Forrest was the Klan's first imperial wizard, and the hoods and robes were used to frighten black people in their homes.
Then black people start voting, and the Klan and groups like it turn brutal. But the Klan went quiet just years later.
By 1872, all of their goals had been pretty much accomplished, so there wasn't really a need to don a sheet anymore, because you had your person, your guy at the State House who could make laws that would suit your purposes.
In 1915, Birth of a Nation became the first film ever screened at the White House. The book it was based on was written by a friend of then-President Woodrow Wilson.
You know, it's a 3-hour film that poses black men as dangerous and violent, so which led to, you know, a decade of racial terror lynchings, and we see that narrative continues to this very day.
The film inspired another war veteran, William J. Simmons, who began to reignite the flames of the Klan, this time against not just blacks, but Catholics, Jewish people, and the nation's newly arriving immigrants.
People are shocked to know that there were, 1 million people in the Ku Klux Klan around the country.
The Ku Klux Klan spread its poisonous influence.
But you had a lot of people, a lot of officials. You had governors, you had senators.
But by the 1930s, the Klan's millions had dwindled to thousands. Here's why.
As the New Jersey Ku Klux Klan rents the camp for one day, cameramen are not permitted to photograph everything.
While the Klan had a national organization, there were copycat groups who fought over funds, dragging each other into court and adding to the growing disgust of the public. The IRS investigated in 1944 and then demanded $500,000 in back taxes. That crippled the Klan, but not for long.
With the advent of the Civil Rights Movement and the Supreme Court order to desegregate in 1954, the Ku Klux Klan sprang back to life.
Robert Shelton's United Klans of America assaulted freedom riders and activists from Birmingham to Anniston. The White Knights of Mississippi were responsible for the murder of 3 civil rights workers. The Klan is responsible for the 1963 Baptist church bombing and the 1965 murder of Mother of 5 Viola Liuzzo. The FBI infiltrated and cracked down on the violence, but violence wasn't the only issue.
You also have those nonviolent actions that were carried out by groups like the White Citizens Council. After Brown v. Board in places like Montgomery, Alabama, where I am, they immediately started these private academies, and to this day, they don't send their kids to school with black kids.
I believe in nonviolence. I think that we should react and we should work and organize as white people.
David Duke tried to popularize a new type of Klansman. He tried to claim they were nonviolent. They were simply all about white people's rights. And he was photogenic, and he got a lot of publicity, and his Klan group started growing.
And then comes leaders like Bill Wilkinson and Frazier Glenn Miller Jr. The numbers were smaller than before, but the violence still left people dead. To investigate and go after the Klan, Klan Watch director Randall Williams attended several rallies.
There is an odd, happy white supremacy family atmosphere to some of this activity. If you go to a Klan rally on a Saturday afternoon, they're having a fish fry. It almost looks benign.
But the KKK's symbols made their members a solid target. And memberships, reams of propaganda material, assets, and bank accounts became liabilities that groups like the SPLC could use to take the Klan down in court. In 1987, Beulah May Donald won a $7 million lawsuit against the United Klans of America for their involvement in the death of her 19-year-old son.
No, I didn't want it to happen to nobody else's child like it has mine.
It bankrupted the largest Klan organization at the time, but the people who'd been attracted to KKK principles had already started to move on.
Beginning in the late 1970s, what we really see is that this sense of emergency shared by white power activists, and here I'm talking about Klansmen, but also radical tax resistors, white separatists, followers of Christian identity, neo-Nazis, and a whole bunch of other people. That sense of emergency and the sense of a shared frustration with the government brought people together in what they called the white power movement.
The KKK's robes and crosses are less popular now, but the tactics the Klan used to draw individuals in proved useful for decades. One key lesson: the Klan figured out how to use the internet back in the early 80s with the Liberty Net. The new white power groups now know how to communicate without making themselves easy targets.
We have to remember that these activists are motivated by a sense that their actions are all that stands between them, their families, and the end of the world. They see racial demographic change as the end of the world, as an annihilation of everything that they care about. For them, it's a state of emergency.
They were pushing Democratic so bad, so hard, that you knew that if you did not vote for Democrat and you worked at that bank, you weren't going to have your job tomorrow. And that's what goes on at these jobs. They push the Democratic Party, they push democracy. Democracy is communism, by the way, if you don't know that. They push that. They even say that we're spreading democracy. Democrat. So they're always pushing Democrats all the time. Yeah, and you're like, whoa. And then they come back and they had asked me, hey, Mel, did you vote? And I was like, no, I don't vote. I don't take part in that. I don't vote. You know? So they look at me sideways like, you know? But it's okay. It's okay for Hispanics to go vote Republican. But if you're black, you gotta vote Democrat.
More questions. You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Even though they ain't gonna do nothing for you, you gotta go vote for them. And the sad part about it is that they will have a sister in there, a black woman in there, and if you're in the voting poll, she's over there looking, stretching her eyes, being like, oh, are you sure you made the right decision? I think you made a mistake on that. Let me change it. You're black, right? Yeah, you're supposed to vote Democrat. Yeah, that's your stuff. And I'm like, what? You can't do that. You can't go intercepting people's vote. That's why they have it covered up so you don't look over it. You can't go in there telling people they made a mistake and voted for the wrong party. And that's the problem with the Democratic Party. I can't support them in no way. They just infiltrate. They just break the rules. They just break the rules all day, every day. I cannot stand them. How are you gonna go around interfering in people's vote and telling them that they're supposed to vote black because they're Democrat? And Biden even said it, if you don't vote Democrat, then you ain't black. Like, that's a benefit. You know, it really gets me upset. Sure. But at the jobs, they're pushing it hardcore. They're just pushing it Democrat. Even with the gas price up, the cost of living going up, they're suffering, they're struggling. It's like a death warrant. Vote for your debt. You know what I mean? Vote for your path to elimination. Vote Democrat. Like, what the F did they do for us? Nothing. They sent all of you guys to the fucking Middle East to die. They never took part in supporting you, giving you $500 checks a month you can't even survive on, and then putting you with drugs and then throw you into the streets, and then next minute they want to get rid of you because you got a tent set up on the street. What the hell are you voting for them for? And then they got the nerve to come around telling you what to vote for, and then when you go to the voting poll, they're over there stretching their neck looking into your paperwork with fucking Shanae over there, Granny over there stretching her neck looking at your voting card saying you voted wrong because you voted for Republican or Independent. So I'm just gonna change it to Democrat for you. Have a good day. God bless. Now get the fuck out of here. Not a fucking welfare recipient. I tell you, single motherhood is the fucking problem. That Section 8, that welfare, that food stamp shit. that Maxine Water and the other woman, all of them, they're all problems. Bringing the Planned Parenthood into the tent, it's just too much, man. It's just too much. How the hell are you gonna vote for that nonsense? And this fact that they still exist is mind-boggling. You know what I mean? So, you know, when I saw this stuff again, now, Dominion voting machine, the Dominion voting machine, that's the machines that out there. They already, I mean, in Nigeria, they already took down these machines. It's called something else over there, but they went after them because they rigged the elections. These are AI systems.
Right outside the Mercer County Board of Elections, where they are now sorting and counting all of those ballots, which were brought here last night because of those problems scanning the ballots with the Dominion voting machines. Now, we are told 60 bags of votes remain, and they hope to have that done by this evening. Now, they still don't know the exact cause of the scanning problems with the Dominion voting machines. The Board of Elections tells me they ran a test last week. The machines worked properly during early voting, as they did for the last 3 elections. Now, the public can also come down here to election headquarters and watch this process unfold. 2 of those people watching very closely, we also have Mark Huberley. He is a Trenton Democratic challenger, and John Hart from Hopewell Township, the GOP chair. I want to start with Mark Huberley. We're talking about the impact on communities, including the city of Trenton.
This is significant for the city of Trenton because the entire government is on the ballot. 7 council people and the mayor all at one time. To have this glitch, from what our experience was yesterday, chilled voters. They were so unsure of what was transpiring. Everyone thought it was a glitch just at their ballot location, and it turned out to be not only citywide, but countywide.
And then on the other side, too, same situation here with the GOP candidates. John Hart, tell us about what you're seeing.
Well, I was there at the very beginning yesterday, and before they could drop their regular ballot in the emergency slot, they wanted to do provisionaries. And the provisional ballots that we had last year, we had problems with unsealed bags. People didn't trust them. Their vote didn't count. So a lot of people before first thing in the morning did not want to use it. I told them to please come back. We'll get these machines working. But I don't know if they came back, but we lost hundreds of people through our districts that refused to use the provisional because they didn't trust it. Now, I'm disappointed that the county had all year to fix this problem. And election day, a tight race like this, we have to go through this again.
And again, we still don't know the exact cause of the scanning issue. Dominion's working on it, as well as the Board of Elections. For you, the public, you can come down here and watch this process unfold. Again, they hope to have all the votes counted by this evening.
They're taking it down. You go there, you're voting, they're going to ask for your race, your nationality, where you're from, all of that. They're changing your votes. Now, instead of Granny looking over your shoulder, you know, now they got the AI system. So when you go down there and you vote, you put, oh, I'm African American or black, I support this and this, and automatically will send you to Democratic. It'll automatically send you Democratic. You know, and say, oh, you're black, you belong to a Democratic. Because the United States Corporation put black people as the 14th Amendment as United States citizens. Federal government black people are under the jurisdiction of the federal government of the United States Corporation. So they're automatically going to transfer your votes to Democrats. So you got to make sure. I don't even understand how you're going to even go there and use these machines, because these machines are rigged. We know that Biden did not win the election that just recently happened. We know that. He didn't even have nobody supporting him. He didn't even run in a campaign. And that's not even the real Biden. So, you know, you got to be careful, man. This is just a rig. It's just rigged. It's just rigged. Because the Dominion, you already know. Look who it's owned by. Look who owns it. Look what they're doing. Look what they already did. So how could you go in there and say you have free rights, free votes? They elect the people that you vote for. If you don't pay them to run an election, and if you don't stand for what they want, you're not getting in. And then people say you have freedom to vote. Yeah, freedom to vote for the people they elect, that they want, that could afford their fees and services. The whole system is rigged. Plus, those politicians and those Congress members and everything, they're not supposed to be getting paid like that. They're not supposed to be receiving all that benefit because they're supposed to feel what the people are feeling and make a decision off of that. Not making decisions where you're sitting on your back taking people's money and working with lobbyists. You know, everything is just screwed. What's going on? Because like the immigrants that are just coming here, they don't know BS. The first couple of years they gotta vote Democrat, they're gonna see the problem and then they go Republican. Then they start bringing in more immigrants in here. You know? Today we're talking about AI. AI is Dominion voting machine. They see how you are, who you are. We got contracts out there. We don't want you to F it up. So we're going to take your vote and put it where we think it belongs. That's what's going on here. And if that's not bad enough, we got the LAPD using Israeli surveillance software that could track your plan and social media. So now, what they got is this. They're giving police. They had the surveillance from Israel that when they pull you over, because people were recording the police, so they had the device that could shut your phone off when they pull you over. They lost in court. Now they're back with this one. It's the surveillance that they're giving the police department now, that they can use, read your license plate with the DMV approving it. They can see everything that you're doing. They know where you live. They know your social media. They know what party you represent. They know what you support. You know, you're over there, you get pulled over, right? You're following all the rules. You have you're contracting with the United States. You're on the road. You showed them your license. You showed them your registration and everything. And then you're like, why the hell is this so-and-so public servant going off at me? You know what I mean? Oh, it's because you're a Republican or you're this. So I need you to get out of the car. I need you to put your hand. I need you to do this. And they start beating on you. And you're like, for what? Little do you know is that they've been looking up your social media and they don't support what you're saying or what you're doing or what you feel like. Or maybe you do OnlyFans. You know, a woman and this guy's a religious fanatic and comes at you wrong and pulls you over on the street. You know, now they're looking you up, looking at what you stand for and what you support, which is supposed to be private. They're taking your information and coming at you wrong, looking at you sideways, and you're like, what the hell? Why are they doing this to me? Why are they coming at me like this? How come when I call the police, they don't come I pay my taxes, they're public servants. Oh, no, we're not going to support you because you support this. Oh, because you didn't like it that we brought illegals over here, so we don't support you. Oh, we don't like it that you're talking about the price gouging. You know, so we're not going to support your lawsuit in court. Because and then they go around talking about you, making you seem like you're a terrorist, like you're the bad guy. And look at what Obama just passed before he got out of office, that they can treat you as a war criminal. United States citizens and those who contract with them. That's why you got to get on that UCC 1. That's why you got to use that UCC 1-308, where you hold your right, because you don't know what you're signing. You don't know what you're getting into. They're making the laws, and behind your back they're doing something different. You don't know why they're coming at you the way they're coming at you. It's because they're already looking up your social media from your license plate. So police are going to be going around with this Israeli new technology, AI system surveillance, where they're going to be looking up your whole stuff from your Facebook to your social media to your AI. Facebook contacted me back in 2013, 2014 and told me to stop talking about them, stop talking about the corporation. And then I was doing personal training. And I was personal training at the park, and they sent some people to the park to come talk to me. And they came over there saying, oh, you don't have a license to be here. You don't have a license to be training people on this park. You don't have a license to be staying right here. We don't want you here no more. Next time we see you here, we're going to fine you. And that was because I was talking about Facebook. Because I knew that the terror and the rights that they were violated. And yes, they did get sued for it. But they're still doing it. You see, and now it's getting worse. Because you're driving down the street, minding your own business, following the laws and regulations, contracting in the United States, and you get pulled over by a public servant who don't know their place, who's ignorant and dumb, told that he's above you and he's a public servant, or she's a public servant, and then they come at you wrong, and you're like, what the hell's this for? You know what I mean? So we gotta check it. That's all I gotta say.